Hello everyone, Risky Toothpick here, back again with some more Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot, the first cases. And last time we learned a little bit more about the murder. We still haven't solved it yet, and we haven't solved the blackmail. But this is our first time being on the top floor, and we are going to investigate what might be here. We might find some goodies here. I see that we do have a exclamation mark here. I'm going to get rid of it, just so we don't have to worry about it. This is all information that we pretty much have found out. And then the confirmed evidence is just kind of like a summary of it all. All right, let's check out the storeroom.
Oh.
A collection of children toys, such a shame to see them stored away and not being enjoyed. Considering they have been kept in a storage room, they are all in almost perfect condition. My immediate assumption would be they belong to Mademoiselle Angeline. Alrighty. Another clock. The time and skill it takes to build such a wonderful piece, it is an art form. He says that for every grandfather clock he finds.
Oh.
A lone storybook rests here. It has obviously been read a great number of times, judging by the condition of the spine and pages. I am perhaps not the target demographic, but I understand it to be quite popular amongst the younger audience. The real lady of the house, happy birthday. Watching you grow into a proper young lady has been more than words can describe. All my love, Felix. I would not have expected to find such a heartfelt message written by Monsieur Hagen and to Mademoiselle Angeline. Is this the usual inscription you would find from a family friend? I'm telling you, I think the Major is the father of Angeline. I cannot seem to get straight answers from anyone regarding the Major. I know he has been friends with Madame Van Bosch for some years, but I must find out if it was anything more. We do have a connection here. Let me see here. Okay, let me look at these here. Let me see if there's any like question marks here. That tends to kind of tell us if it's like an answer or not. Okay, it's not. Let me do gift from the Major, and the Major cared about the two.
I must act on thought and fact, not on impulse.
Okay, I don't think it would be the children's toy. Maybe these two.
I must take a different approach if I am to uncover the... Is there something I am not seeing?
Maybe there's a connection between the storybook and... Nope, apparently there's a connection between a high interest rate and the Major's resided with the family for a long time.
Another success. I never doubted myself.
I was nowhere near finding that, connection. It seems the Major has lived rather comfortably in the Van den Bosch house for many years. Yep, and the Major depends on Cassandra. Talk to Angeline. Must say, I have a feeling that he might be her father. Alright, but we are definitely going to explore everything else here before we go down the stairs. Especially if we can go into every room. Ooh, Cassandra's in here though. She will probably not be happy with us up here. And we've seen these before. He'll talk about the fireplace. I'll hit it just to get it out of the way. Can.
Huh.
Yeah, you could gaze into the flames for hours on end. Does not seem to be anything of interest in here. These perfume bottles look rather expensive. It would be wise to be very careful with them. That seems to be everything here. Yep, and that's also the same thing he says every time he looks out a window. Let us talk to Cassandra and see if she has anything to say.
Detective Poirot, what do you think you are doing in here?
I have something I wish to discuss with you.
Well, I hope it is important enough to justify barging into one's bedroom.
I assure you it is.
Good, because this has gone on far too long. We are snowed in this house while a murderer runs amok.
I can understand your frustrations, but it is not as simple as...
You were once an incompetent officer, and now it seems you are just as incompetent as a detective.
If I was not being lied to and misled at every turn, perhaps the murderer would already be in custody.
I hope you are not suggesting I had something to do with Felix's murder.
I am suggesting that if I had the support that everyone claims they are offering, we would be in a very different situation.
If you have something you want to ask, I suggest you ask me now.
Yeah, just as usual, she really dislikes Poirot. I was not aware the Major had been so close to your daughter.
We met before Angeline was born, so he was often at the house when she was growing up.
And where was it you two met?
I was attending an event. Felix was also in attendance as a serving officer. A conversation was struck.
So, it was not through the Viscount that you two met?
I did not require my husband to start conversations on my behalf.
It was you that instigated it then?
My, detective. That active imagination of yours has taken you on quite some journey.
Madame is attempting to deflect from a subject she obviously does not feel comfortable discussing. The late Viscount and the Major were surely friends then.
Edwin spent much of his time away on business before Angeline was born. Felix was a welcome distraction from the loneliness of the house.
You were alone in the house?
The staff continued their duties, of course, but trying to get any sort of sophisticated or cultured conversation from them was like drawing blood from a stone.
And when Angeline was born?
Edwin remained at home. It was his duty as a father.
And the Major?
He had his own business and life to tend to, but we remained in touch via letter. Around the time of Edwin's passing, Felix had relocated to the area.
Madame is incredibly coy and brief with the information she offers, but with the Viscount's death coinciding with the Major's return, surely a mere coincidence is too far-fetched. I would like to ask you about a letter I found in the Major's study.
I'm sure he has hundreds of letters in there. Most of them could and should have been thrown away a long time ago. You are going to have to be more specific.
I refer to the letter addressed to you, the one of a romantic nature.
Romantic nature? Oh, please, detective. Felix did not have a romantic bone in his body.
He made his intentions quite clear in the letter. I must admit I myself was surprised.
You really do have quite the active imagination, detective. If that is how you wish to interpret it, so be it. But I can assure you, the Major did not think of me that way, and certainly did not include it in a letter.
Alrighty.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
She's definitely not telling us all the truth. And it looks like we might be able to make some connections. Let me see. Cassandra claims the Major didn't love her. Cassandra met the Major before Angeline's birth. Let's try to make a connection between these two.
Come, my little grey cells. We must think logically.
Okay, let me look at the rest here then. I was not aware their friendship spanned for so many years. Cassandra denies the Major had feelings for her. The Major went above and beyond Call of Duty to return and comfort Cassandra. Why would he do this? Maybe these two?
Order and method. That is the way to...
Okay. Okay, the Major received some sort of... Maybe we can connect these two together?
This will not get me any closer to my goal.
We've been very unlucky lately. And of course, this is the most simple one. Cassandra claims the Major didn't love her, and we get to talk about Angeline and Cassandra.
Things are beginning to become clearer.
It is obvious that the Major cared for Cassandra. That is no surprise to anyone. And now wants us to talk to Cassandra again. Well, sure, we'll figure out.
Is this really necessary?
Alrighty, if you're correct and the Major has no romantic feelings toward you, why would he keep a photograph of you and Mademoiselle Angeline hidden?
He may have stayed in my home, but Felix was a grown man, Detective. What he kept, hidden or otherwise, has nothing to do with me.
But it does not surprise you that he had such a photograph?
We have been friends, and he has been there for Angeline for many years, but you find it strange that he keeps a reminder of us? Perhaps that says more about you, Detective.
But she's trying to turn it on us here.
What I do find strange is that if he did hold a flame for you, why he would never express it.
If he did, it was not reciprocated. I have not even considered another since my husband's passing. Not that it is any of your business.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
We have to remember this is during this is like in the 1900s, so messing around behind your husband's back is a big no-no. So she would definitely try to keep it hidden. We would pretty much have to have the evidence right in front of us to prove her otherwise. But I think we're done in here. There's nothing more to say. We'll need to go and find Angeline and talk to her. Of course, before we do that, we're going to check out the paintings as well. There are a number of spectacle pieces in Madame Van Bosch's electric art collection. Does he say that for every painting? No. A painting of a boat sailing across a vast ocean. The artist is clearly very talented. Okay, so we can't go into the lover's room. A painting of an atmospheric forest scene. The artist captured the ambience of the forest perfectly. A painting of a majestic mountain, the tip of which pierces the clouds above. The attention to detail is fantastic. And we got another achievement. I could spend every waking moment reading about the adventures of the characters within these books. So pretty much what I'm assuming, if you want to get like all the achievements, you just need to find everything and investigate. Gazing at the stars is truly one of life's simple pleasures. Alright, and I think we're done in here, so now we can start working our way down. Until we have to come back here later, more than likely. Perhaps it is time to speak with Mademoiselle Angeline again. She should be able to give us the valuable piece of this puzzle. And conveniently, she's like right here.
Detective Poirot, are you any closer to uncovering the truth of Felix's involvement with the letters?
I am, mademoiselle. I can confirm that he was not the author of the blackmail letters.
So the author is still out there?
Oui, but it will not be long before they are apprehended, and the only letters they shall be penning will be from behind iron bars.
Your confidence is rather assuring. Thank you, Detective.
Your comment about the current guest stayed with me last night.
I'm sorry, Detective. I did not intend to leave your mind so full of thoughts.
No apology is required. It actually made me question my whole chain of thinking. What if there had been a collusion between them, and the Major's murder was planned, organized, and orchestrated to make the investigation seem almost impossible.
Oh my, detective, that is quite a theory.
Every guest has a motive. You confirm that with the mention of Mademoiselle Conrad and the Major's fight. Supplying one another with a rock-solid alibi would surely throw off any detective.
But not you.
Correct, mademoiselle. It would take much more to stamp Detective Poirot.
While searching the storage room, I found a book that I assume was a gift from the Major to you.
I haven't seen that book in so long. Yes, it was a gift for my 10th birthday. I have read it from cover to cover countless times. He left such a lovely inscription too.
It sounds as though there is a side to the Major I did not get to see. Was it common for him to bring you gifts?
Not common, but if he had been away for some time, he would bring me a small memento from his travels. He hasn't done that in some time, though.
The toys that were with the book, were they also gifts from the Major?
They were. I'm afraid they may have gathered some dust being in the storage room for so long. I kept them in hope of giving them to my child when the time comes.
It sounds as though he had always cared about you.
His presence at the house was comforting for us both after Father died, even if sometimes he was a little too overprotective.
You spoke last night of the Major's support of your mammon.
That's right. Ever since I can remember, Felix has been around.
It seems as though she has a number of support networks. The Major, her friendship with the Countess, not forgetting Monsieur da Silva.
Maman has many friends. I know how she may seem to Moss, but once you break the hard shell...
There is a further shell waiting to be broken.
Oh, very good, detective.
Forgive me, mademoiselle. I only jest.
It's quite all right. You are not the only one that feels a razor tongue. She's grateful you are here, especially now, whether she shows it or not.
I am still yet to see the vision of Mademoiselle Angeline speaks of. I'm not sure I will get my hopes up for a budding friendship. Speaking with the Comtesse yesterday, she did not have the greatest opinion of the Major.
They have often come to blows when it concerns Maman. They are both trying to protect her, but they themselves cannot seem to get along.
She spoke of his desire to join the, how do you describe it? Social elite.
This isn't the first time she has vocalized that concern. She thinks the Major was just using our family name to make his way to the top.
And you do not agree?
I will not deny he has shown interest in Maman's social circles, but they have been friends since even before I was born. Surely all those years of friendship was not just to raise his social standing.
Oh, you never know with the very wealthy. Mademoiselle Angeline obviously does not believe what the Comtesse had to say about the Major. Perhaps it is jealousy that drives her scandalous theory. If I may be so bold, did the Major contribute to the house?
How do you mean, detective?
I imagine a house of this size is rather costly, keeping it in the immaculate condition it is in.
Maman looks after the financial side of the house, but I think she has had to ask him more than once for a contribution of sorts. It is not for me to get involved.
I shall not keep you any longer. Merci, mademoiselle.
And we are good. I have everything that is needed to push Madame Van den Bosch on her secret. Let's try to connect the dots here. Oh, there's two of them. Okay, so Angeline connects everything. So, what could connect it? The Major has helped the house financially. Madame kept the Major around.
I cannot see the logic in this. Perhaps a second...
I was just trying to check that one just in case. If I had been lucky enough to live here, I would at least offer some form of financial help. I was certainly not as lucky when I was a child. It seems the Major was very generous to Angeline. One can't be surprised with Angeline and Felix's bond. He's been a figure in her life for so long. Although his relationship with the family has seemed questionable at times, his residency at the house has remained permanent. Maybe these two?
Is there something I am not seeing?
I'm just trying to find the connection between... I think it has to be something with this one. The Major returned after the Viscount's death. It's gonna be one of these two.
I must act on thought and...
Yep, I would just chose the wrong one. Previous birthday gift, and the Major returned after the Viscount's death.
I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
With the Viscount gone, the Major stepped up and acted as a fatherly figure to her. That's right. And Cassandra has no romantic feelings towards the Major. The Major hasn't helped the house financially.
Magnifique.
As much as she tried to deny it, Cassandra shared the Major's feeling in some capacity. Cassandra cared about the Major, talked to Cassandra. Yeah, she's gonna care for him. That's her baby daddy. Okay, let me figure out Cassandra's bedroom.
Is this really necessary?
Let's see if we can, like, break her here. Push on why Cassandra has housed the Major for so long.
Who I allow in my house is none of your business. I do not have to explain anything to you.
Alright, she's definitely going to be a problem.
I did not think you were one for charity.
I would not expect you to think much of anything. There is no need to talk on it any further, but I'm sure you will remember that, financially speaking, we have had our issues.
I have all the evidence I need to confront Madame Van den Bosch. It is my approach to the questions that I must consider. She will no doubt be defensive when pushed, but that may be the only way, as she will not give up any information she does not want to easily. So if he's telling us that we need to push here, let's try to be forceful here. Why is it you protect the name of Monsieur Hagen so resolutely?
He was a man that required no protection, Detective. Especially from me.
Yeah, so we have to push her here.
That is the impression I had of him, which is why your defensive stance warrants questioning.
Your insistent questioning on such trivial matters are getting on my last nerve. There is a murderer and a blackmailer to be found. That is your job here.
Okay, so we need to do an antagonizing or suggestive. His declaration of love meant nothing to you then? Yeah, let's try to push her.
Your continued probing into something that does not exist is becoming quite tiresome.
So we have to balance it out a little bit, it looks like.
There is nothing I can tell you that will magically present what you are looking for, Detective. I have grown weary of this conversation, Poirot. There is nothing more to say.
Oh no, we can kind of keep on going here. There is something about your relationship that you're obviously refusing to elaborate on. The love letters, the housing. Your continued reluctance to answer my questions and defensive nature suggests that there was a shared love between you. Alright, that was the correct one there.
Madame, you continue to withhold the truth.
And you continue to get on my last nerve. I am not obliged to tell you every detail of my private life.
But when it impedes my investigation...
If only you were this focused on finding the blackmailer and...
Madame.
Very well. I did not lie about how we met. I was attending an event, raising money for... Oh, I cannot recall now.
I'm surprised we actually broke her.
It had been some time since I had returned home, and was rather missing English soil. I was aware of Felix's invitation, or at least that there was to be several British officers attending the party. And that is where our friendship began. He was a warm reminder of home, and I enjoyed conversing with him. We shared walks in the park and read together. As I said, he was a welcome distraction from the days spent alone. I shall go no further with the details, but I will say, I had no intention on being unfaithful to my husband. It was never our plan to go that far. Once I found out I was pregnant, I knew it had to stop.
Yep.
The Viscount never questioned Mademoiselle's birth?
In his mind, he had no reason to, and he shouldn't have had to. It was my mistake to bear. If he knew the truth, our lives would have been ruined. I told Felix that he was to stay away, but he had no intention to. He became an uncle figure to Angeline, and they grew closer after Edwin's death. I could not tell her the truth. Too much time had passed. The secret remained only between him and I. Until now.
And what were the Major's thoughts on revealing the truth?
He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted her to know exactly who he was. But I told him no. It would not have been the poignant reconciliation that he expected. She would not understand.
Tell me about the letters. So she finally broke down and told us that Angeline is actually the Major's, which we already guessed because it was so obvious. And I guess now, since she's already told us everything, we can really figure everything out.
I tried to retrieve them from the safe after everyone had retired last night. But when I opened the safe, they were nowhere to be found. I assumed he must have hidden them somewhere else.
When I entered the study this morning, they were as visible as a red notice on a police station wall.
I would appreciate if you did not compare them to the face of a wanted felon.
Pardon, madame.
But that does mean someone else in the house has seen them. I don't understand. Why would they return them?
A mystery that is still yet to be solved.
Madame was beaten to the safe by another. It seems we also have a thief within these walls to add to the list of criminals, but a thief hat that returns their spoils. Can I assume this is the secret that has been used for ransom?
It must be. But I have told no one.
That does not mean the Major hasn't, so he probably told someone that was close to him.
And the Major?
Felix promised me he wouldn't tell a soul, and I believed him. Not even if he wanted to.
If the Major had let slip even once throughout the years, perhaps in an intoxicated state, it is a secret that many would seek an opportunity to gain from.
You did not think anyone knew, and that is why you disregarded the letter.
If you bow to these criminals, they will only try to claw more from you.
And we are good.
I think that is all for now. Merci, madame.
The uncertain connection between the Major and the ransom has been resolved. The Major was being blackmailed. The letters were not written by his hand. What remains unresolved is why the Major was being blackmailed. Two cases of extortion under one roof. The question of the relationship must be asked. The Major's secret is anything but obvious from his letter. I now have a blackmailer and a murderer and their weapon to find. If the correct process is followed, they shall all be found swiftly. I should take my leave. The room has already revealed enough new insight into the Madam's and the Major's lives. I had my suspicions that Madame Van Bosch and the Major shared a romantic relationship, but I did not expect the revelation of his connection to Mademoiselle Angeline. I am now one of the very few that hold Madame's secret. And we don't have to try to find some link, which is great. Let me get rid of that. Okay, let me kind of clear out some of these. Yep, Major is Angeline's father. Perfect. And I guess we just leave and someone will talk to us or run into us here. Okay, it looks like we need to talk to Head Butler Sterling. But we're going to stop there today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links below. In the next one, we'll try to figure out who found out that the Major was Angelina's biological father and use that to get ransom.